Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the full review for the Xiaomi A1. And this is a special phone because this is not a regular phone from Xiaomi. This is an Android One device. That means it's a collaboration between Google and Xiaomi, and due to that it does not run on MIUI, but it runs on stock Android. And I've been using this device for almost a week, so I'll be dividing this review between pros and cons so that you can decide if this device is right for you or not. But before that, here are the specs, and as you can see, it is powered by the Snapdragon 625 chipset. It comes in one capacity, that is 4 gigabytes of RAM and 64 GB of internal storage. It has a 5.5-inch 1080p screen, and you can see the other specs on the screen. And before we jump into the pros and cons, here is a quick overview of the Mi A1. So this is the Mi A1, and first let me give you a physical overview and then we'll move ahead. And as you can see, this is build quality actually is really good on this one. This back is entirely made up of metal, and it is not a shoddy build quality. And fingerprint scanner is here, and again look at the antenna lines and everything, and I have to say it resembles very closely to the OnePlus 5. This is the OnePlus 5. Obviously we don't have the fingerprint scanner on the back on the OnePlus 5, but as you can see, it is very similar to that one. And in terms of build quality, I have no issues with this device. It feels very well built, but again for a 5.5-inch screen, I feel it's slightly chunkier because the bezels are slightly large on this one. As you can see, if you compare with other devices, for example, this is the Moto G5 S Plus. As you can see, it's slightly smaller than this one. This is the Redmi Note 4, and this one is also slightly smaller than this one. So yes, definitely it's slightly on the larger side for the 5.5-inch screen. In fact, it's very similar to the iPhone 7 Plus in terms of dimensions. Now moving to the software, that is what makes this device different from any other Xiaomi device. If you have used any Xiaomi device, it runs on MIUI, but this one, as it's an Android One device, it runs on stock Android. As you can see, the launcher is one that you get with the Google Pixel launcher, and again it has all those shortcuts. If you hold the icon for some time, you get quick actions and stuff, for example YouTube and other stuff, Chrome, you can, so that works. The only three applications that are customized by Xiaomi are the camera app, this Mi Remote, and the feedback. Yes, it has IR blaster, so you can use this to control devices like television, etc. But apart from that, it is a stock Android experience that you're getting. And this is the Google, and Google Assistant is also there. If you press the home button for a couple of seconds.
Hi, I'm your Google Assistant.
So yeah, Google Assistant works, and though it just has a single speaker here at the bottom, but the speaker is actually really loud. So in terms of build quality, Xiaomi has done a very good job. Generally in this price range, around 15,000 or so, yes, we have a lot of other phones also that have that metallic build, but in terms of build quality, this one is a lot better. And as it's an Android One device, Google is promising 2 years of updates on this one. But let's see out of the box what version of Android comes with this one. As of now, it's running on the Android version 7.1.2. As you can see, that is no good. But Google has promised in the next 2.5 months, this one should also be getting the Android Oreo update. So you don't have to worry about updates with this device. And before we proceed between the pros and cons, here is a word from our sponsor, that is Videoblocks. This video is brought to you by Videoblocks. Videoblocks has one of the fastest growing, largest stock video libraries with over 3 million videos, After Effects, and motion backgrounds. You can use these clips in your projects to make a more impactful video. For example, I recently went to Melbourne, but due to limited time could not capture a lot of clips, but here on Videoblocks could find clips that I could use in my projects. All of these clips come with a royalty-free agreement, so you can safely use them without any copyright worries or claims. Videoblocks is giving away 7 days of Videoblocks, so you can try and get access to this massive video library for free. Go to videoblocks.com/YouTube or click the link in the description below to start downloading and get 7 days of Videoblocks for free. Again, want to thank Videoblocks for sponsoring this video. So now let's jump between the pros and cons. First, let me talk about the pros. What are the things I liked about this Xiaomi Mi A1? And later on, we'll talk about the cons so that you can make an informed decision if this Mi A1 is the right smartphone for you or not. So here are the pros. And the first thing that I really liked about this device, and I've mentioned earlier, is also the build quality. The build quality is very good and it feels like a premium Android handset that you're holding. People will not guess that it's a device that is just around 15,000. So in terms of build quality, Xiaomi has done a very good job. Now moving to the screen, though it is having a 1080p screen, it's the 5.5 inch 1080p screen, but the screen quality what Xiaomi has put on this one is actually very good. And also I like the fact that the screen is adequately bright. If we keep it on the auto brightness sensor, even when you go out in direct sunlight, it is easily visible. So no problems regarding the screen quality that Xiaomi has put on this. It's a high quality screen that they have put. It has good viewing angles and good brightness. Now moving to the cellular call quality, I tested it with the Reliance Jio and Airtel 4G here in India. And when I was also traveling to Australia, I used it over there. And regarding the cellular call quality, I did not have any issues with this device. Also, I took quite a few calls via its speaker phone and the call quality was good even with the speaker phone. In fact, the speaker phone call quality was very good because the speaker is actually very loud. Now talking about the speaker, though it's just a single speaker that we have, it is actually very loud. I wish they could have put a dual speaker, but yeah, considering the price point, again, the speaker is adequately loud, and in fact in this price range, one of the loudest speakers that I have noticed. In fact, if you have watched my gaming review, I had to reduce the volume of the speaker because it was actually very loud. Now moving to the headphone jack, it has a headphone jack as you can see, and the audio output I got from the headphone jack was outstanding. Yes, outstanding. It is the best audio output I have seen from a headphone jack, and it can drive very heavy headphones also. For example, I tested with a couple of heavy headphones that I had. This is the Audio Technica. I also tested with the Grados that I have, and the audio output that I was getting from the headphone jack is incredible. I would say if Xiaomi would have just said that this is a music phone, then I also would have agreed, because the quality that you're getting from the headphone jack is incredible. So if you have heavy headphones, it will easily drive it without any issues. And when many of the other smartphones that I have tested with heavy headphones, I have to usually keep the volume levels at about 80 to 85% for adequate volume with heavy headphones. But on this one, even at 50% volume, they were very loud. So again, props to Xiaomi for putting a dedicated amp for the headphone jack. Now moving to other sensors, it has almost all the sensors like compass, gyroscope, etc. And it also has the IR blaster, using which you can control devices like television, air conditioners, etc. But one thing was very surprising is that this one does not have the NFC chip. So that is one thing you have to note. Now moving to the fingerprint scanner, as you can see, it's on the back, and the fingerprint scanner in terms of accuracy is very good, but it is slightly slow. For example, let me show you, it's on standby, and I'm going to just tap that. And as you can see, it takes about half a second to unlock. But in terms of accuracy, it is very accurate. But again, it's not the fastest fingerprint scanner that we have seen. Now moving to multitasking, the multitasking performance and RAM management was very good on this device. Again, that is due to the fact that it's running stock Android and it handled everything I threw on it. In fact, the RAM management was so good that I forgot about anything about RAM management, and I didn't have to worry about app reloading at times. So in terms of RAM management, Xiaomi has done a great job. And again, that is due to the fact that it's running stock pure Android. Now moving to gaming, I did quite a bit of gaming with this device, and I played heavy games like Modern Combat 5, Asphalt Extreme, and even Asphalt 8 at the highest setting, and it played all those games without any issues. In fact, I have already posted a dedicated gaming review. If you want to check out that, I'll have the link for the same in the YouTube description area. And I really like the fact that even after extended gaming, the handset did not heat up. The maximum temperature that we were seeing around for this device was just about 40 degrees Celsius even after heavy gaming. So in terms of gaming, the gaming performance was actually very good. Now moving to the battery life, it has a sealed battery, which is a 3080 milliamp hour battery, and I was initially worried how would be the battery life, but I'm happy to say that the battery life I'm getting on this one is actually very good. In my rough usage for a week or so, I was hovering anywhere between 5 hours to 6.5 hours of screen on time. So with daily usage, even with heavy usage, it should easily last you for a typical working day. So in terms of battery life also, I was satisfied. In fact, I was also testing the Moto G5s Plus during that time, and in fact in terms of battery life, I was getting almost 1 hour of extra screen on time with this Mi A1. It also has this physical LED notification light. Quite a few of you have asked me to check it, but again, do note that the physical LED notification light is only in one color, that is in white color. Now moving to camera, Xiaomi was talking a lot about the camera, and they're projecting this smartphone as a camera-centric smartphone. As you can see, it has that dual camera setup. One is a regular wide-angle lens, and the second one is a telephoto. That means it can zoom in. But again, let me actually show you the camera samples so that you can get a better idea regarding the camera performance. So this one's taken at 1x zoom, this is the 2x zoom, and here I use the portrait mode. And again, this was in the portrait mode, this was in the regular mode. And as you can see, in outdoor lighting conditions, the camera performance is actually good, and also it has that portrait mode, and as you can see, you can get some good snaps if the lighting is good in the portrait mode. But when we move into low lighting conditions, the problems start, as you can see, and it's not a good idea to use that 2x zoom in low lighting conditions. For example, this was in regular 1x mode, but this was at 2x zoom mode. Another example, 1x mode, and this was at 2x mode. So I would avoid using the 2x mode at night. But in natural lighting, you can easily use the 2x zoom and it produces good results. Shooting this video with the front-facing camera of the Mi A1, and it can be very windy. Just moving around to show you the exposure, and I don't think so it has stabilization that much, but again, you be a judge. Very quick sample with the front-facing camera. Shooting this sample in 4K, just indoors, and I'll also shoot a footage while walking because I don't think so it has any stabilization. Back in India, and this is my roof card. I'm recording this footage at 1080p. We knew that the Mi A1 didn't have any stabilization at 4K, but even at 1080p, it doesn't show any stabilization option. So looks like even at 1080p, it does not have any stabilization. As you can see, I'm just walking so that you can have an idea. Another thing to note is that by default, in terms of focusing in video, it is set to tap to focus, but you can change it to continuous autofocus. So if you're shooting video, I would suggest you change that. And as you can see, now it did focus. It took a couple of seconds. Let's just go back. So yeah, it is taking a couple of seconds. Let's just check the focusing again. Let's go over here, and so I'll just move it here. Let's see it focuses quickly on this rope, and as you can see, it did focus. It took a couple of seconds, so it's not the fastest, but yeah, it is doing this focusing, as you can see. So these were the things that I liked about the Mi A1. Now let's move to the cons, and these are the things that I did not like about the Mi A1. And the first thing is that in this price segment mid-range, we find almost every phone has FM support, but sadly this phone is not having the FM support. So native FM support is simply missing on this device. Also, I was very surprised to see that as it's a collaboration between Google and Xiaomi, and Android Pay is becoming common, but that will not work with this one because it does not have NFC chip. So that is one thing you have to note. Now another thing that I noticed is, and I've got quite a few questions regarding this one, does this phone support fast charging? Because the charger that was supplied in the box is a regular charger, that is a 5 volt 2 amp charger, but I did test this phone with a couple of fast chargers. For example, I checked it with the Samsung fast charger, and if you notice this clip, it is just pulling at 5 volts. That means it's not fast charging. If it was a fast charger, it would have pulled at 9 or 12 volts. I also tried with another charger that I had, that is a Lenovo charger, and this is also a fast charger, but again, as you can see, it even with this charger, it was pulling only at 5 volts at 2 amps. That's the max. So that means officially it does not support fast charging, and even if you use a fast charger with this Mi A1, it will not charge it up very quickly. But the good thing is that even with the regular charger, that is a 5 volt 2 amp charger that is supplied, it is not very slow. For example, when it was around 14%, I kept it on charge, and I came back after about an hour and it was about 80%, and when I came back after about 1 hour 30 minutes, it was completely charged. So it should charge anywhere from 0% to 100% in about 1 hour 40 to 45 minutes. So yes, it does not have fast charging, but again, it is not very slow at charging. That is what I have noticed. Another big con that I have with this device is that in terms of video recording, yes, at 4K we can't expect video stabilization, but at 1080p, as you saw that sample earlier, it does not have any electronic stabilization, which was a big bummer because many of the smartphones in this price band at 1080p do provide electronic image stabilization. So if you're shooting video with this one, even at 1080p, you have to be very careful. You should not move, otherwise the video footage will be very shaky. I hope Xiaomi can push out an update and enable electronic image stabilization, but as of now there is no electronic image stabilization. Also, again, regarding the camera, as they were pushing it as a camera centric smartphone, yes, in moderately good lighting and outdoor lighting it does a very good job, and it also has the telephoto that is 2x zoom, that helps. But if you take for photos in very low lighting conditions, then the camera really struggles. So that is another thing that you have to note. And also one more thing that I noticed in the camera app is that it has the HDR mode, and HDR mode can make an impact, as you can see from these photos, but sadly there is no HDR auto mode on this one, because and I feel Xiaomi should have added that option, because when you're taking photos casually, you almost every time forget to toggle on the HDR on and off. And many of the other smartphones in this price band, even this Moto G5s Plus, has that auto HDR mode. So I hope Xiaomi with the software update should implement that auto HDR mode, because the HDR photos do make the experience a lot better on this device. So overall, as you can see, it's a very good Android smartphone, but not perfect. And to divide it very quickly, let me highlight what I liked about this device and what I didn't. These are the things I really liked. Again, the first thing is that it is stock Android. The build quality is incredible. Also, as it's an Android One device, you have promise from Google, you'll be getting Android updates for about 2 odd years. Also, the battery life is actually good on this one, and overall it's a very balanced smartphone. And again, in terms of camera, I like the portrait mode and even the 2x zoom, but again, do note that that portrait mode will work only in good lighting conditions. Now moving to the negative aspects, and I feel I'm going hard with this negatives because Xiaomi was projecting this smartphone as a camera centric smartphone. For a phone to be camera centric smartphone, and they were comparing it with the iPhone 7 Plus or the OnePlus 5, it should excel in photography, but in low lighting conditions this one was not doing that great job. And in video, as I've already mentioned, it simply does not have any stabilization. Overall, don't get me wrong, the camera works well, but it struggles in low lighting and the video stabilization is simply missing. So these were the pros and cons of the Xiaomi Mi A1. But still, apart from the cons that I've mentioned, overall, if you look at the picture, I feel as of now, this is one of the best Android smartphones that you can get for about 15,000. Again, you have to decide if this smartphone is for you or not. Just go over the pros and cons and decide if this smartphone is for you or not. I've also posted other videos regarding this Xiaomi Mi A1. Link for those videos will be there in the YouTube description area. So guys, I hope you found this video review helpful, and if you're still not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. And thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.